Hey there, once again, it's me, Jian Lasala, and welcome to Pageant Talks. And we are on season 2. And I promise that we're going to put up some Filipino content, but everyone just couldn't seem to move forward from Miss Universe. And I just really want to insert this episode and talk about what happened behind the scenes. And one of those, I'm very honored to have Hillary Ann Williams, Miss Universe Barbados, one of the surprises and emerging favorites at the Miss Universe 2020 beauty pageant. So, Hillary, how are you? So before we get into the heat of things, tell us how you are.
I am doing well. I'm back home in Barbados. I'm out of quarantine. I'm doing good. I've had my moments to absorb everything that's happened, to strategize my plan going forward, and I'm in a good space.
Right. So, okay, I won't keep you waiting, Hillary. So, first question, bring us to that moment, because remember we chatted once you checked in. You did, right? But that was just the tip of the iceberg. But tell us everything. How did you feel when you checked in, and how did you feel when the Miss Universe your Miss Universe journey is finally starting?
I was very excited. I was very calm throughout the whole process, from leaving Barbados to going to the United States. I thought I would have been like, oh my God, but I was very relaxed. I wasn't stressed out. I wasn't anxious. I was just really excited and ready to get going. And I remember when I checked out of my hotel in Miami to head to the Hard Rock, that was the first time that I was leaving my national director's side in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, it kind of got real for me, but I was just excited. And I got to the Hard Rock. Everyone that I interacted with checking in to our quarantine for the first day was lovely. I was just so excited. And when we went down to get our COVID test, I got to meet some of the other girls very briefly. So that was lovely. And I think the energy there was just so high and people were so excited. All the girls were going live and I went live with you just for a moment. I was like, let's go on.
Yeah.
And I was just so ready. I was so excited and just so humbled to be there. And even the first day, there were fans there like, Barbados.
Yeah.
And I never expected a young woman like me from 166 square miles, island, anyone would know of. And so it was just an incredible feeling. It really was.
I could feel it because I felt that you were really shining because even before you went there, Hillary, I really kind of expected that you would be one of those girls who will shine. We were so blessed that Miss Universe released the up-close interviews because at least from that point, Miss Universe has nothing to hide from us fans, and we got to see you speak prior to you checking in at Miss Universe. So I just would like to let you know that. So, okay, so when you got in there, let's say day 1, day 2, day 3, how was the atmosphere, and was it a joyful one, or was the pressure getting into you?
I had no pressure whatsoever. I knew I had worked so hard leading up to that point, and I was so focused so that I knew when I got to Miss Universe, I could just enjoy the moment, just have fun, be the best version of myself. So I had put in all the work beforehand. So that was when I was stressed and I had pressure. So when I got there, I was just having fun. And it was such an incredible energy and atmosphere at Miss Universe. I must say, I really bounce off of a lot of people's energy. And everyone was so excited. Everyone felt so inspired and empowered. We got to hear from Paula Shugart. We were interacting with the Miss Universe team. We're going to registration, fittings, video interviews, photo shoots. So we were busy, but we were on such high energy and all so excited. And then we were meeting the other girls, which were lovely. And then, we had day 1 check-ins and then day 2 check-ins. So then finally, when we were all at breakfast or dinner together, it was just like a big networking event, and everyone was so eager to talk to one another and just learn a little bit about their countries and their platforms. So it was such a great atmosphere, and I knew it was going to be like that I was in my element. I was thriving. I'm an extrovert. I love chatting to people. So I just was honestly having the time of my life. I had no pressure on me at all.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, observing everyone, with you girls most especially, I felt that all of you are actually friends, and you were having a great time. I really never felt that kind of pressure that I felt from the previous years. And this time, like, people just really want to have fun. You're at Miss Universe and stuff like that. But yeah.
A lot of the girls were really sweet, and you make some genuine friendships along the way. And while we all know it's a competition, there's only going to be one winner. There's 74 of us there. Right. So, I mean, you got to have fun in the process and make the most of the experience. And I always say it's a lot to do with perception and what you to take from it. And I had a ball. I had the best time. And I know a lot of the other women did as well. And we were there singing along, dancing with each other, playing around in rehearsals, just being so supportive. And it was really, really special.
Yeah, I just felt that you guys were just having a vacation, but it was actually Miss Universe.
It was an exhausting vacation, I could tell you that.
And like, yeah, you were right about perception, because like me as a pageant fan, I looked at it as on a different perspective, because I got to know a lot of you girls, and I just kind of felt that I was with you on your journeys. But yeah, because like most of the fans would like brawl each of their candidates and they would compare, but I was not one of those guys. So yeah. Okay, so
but just touching on that point really quickly.
Yeah.
The comparisons that a lot of the bloggers do, and that's why I really respect you.
Thank you.
A handful of others is a lot of the bloggers will try and tear delegates down by who looks better, like the polls on Instagram, like voting, or whose outfit this, and they think that tearing down one delegate will make their favorite or their country shine brighter. And I would never share any post, no matter who it was with, about a comparison or criticizing somebody. I would never share that. I think it's unnecessary, that's why I respect how you supported each of the delegates individually. So I pay attention.
Thank you, Hillary. Yeah, because like as a Christian, I don't think it's really good for me to like put you all on a very terrible spot by like what you said, comparing who has a better dress, who has a better this and that. Yeah. So what I do is that if I don't like what you're wearing, or if I don't like anything about you, then I would just simply don't post. But if I do approve with what you wore and what you've been doing, then I will post to you. But of course, if I don't approve anything of what these girls are doing, it doesn't mean that I love them less. But that's the reason why I didn't post hot pics or anything, because I got a feedback from one of my friends before I was competing at Miss Grand International that she actually felt so bad that she was not one of those ladies in the polls, and right.
But that it's a normal feeling as a delegate, and even for myself, Barbados is not a hot pick country. It's never been. And we're so small, sash factor, we've never placed. So I never expected to be in somebody's hot picks. But also as a digital marketer, I think from the background aspect of it, does it make sense as a blogger, if you're trying to increase your numbers, to post someone like me at the time who had maybe 7,000 followers versus someone, say, in Asia who has almost 1 million? And if they share that, you get the exposure. So I think a little more logically than that, to let that bother me. And at the end of the day, I know the bloggers, they don't really have an influence on what the judges see and what they pick at the end of the day. The gas up and the hype around it. But again, at the end of the day, it's knowing your worth and knowing your value, and that someone putting me in their hot picks doesn't define them.
Yeah, that's true. And I only post photos on my blogs or on my vlogs or in my Instagram with candidates who I believe in. So even if you're a hot pick country, if I don't believe in what you're doing, then I wouldn't post you. So that's just me. So this is not what I'm, this is my reason, guys. Yeah, I'm just being transparent. So, okay. So during the prelim, this is now the, I wanted to ask you about, because like this is the only time we catched up, right? So during the preliminary interviews, what were the questions asked? And tell us briefly what happened during the closed doors, because I know that you guys were given 4 minutes each in each panel, and that is a very, very short time, mind you, to be judged. What were the questions asked and what happened? Tell us everything.
So as Barbados, I was in the first group to go down for the interview. We went into a waiting room. Paula came out, she gave us a little pep talk, and she was like, the judges aren't here to scare you. They're not here to intimidate you, bring you down. They just want to get to know you. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
And some of the girls were praying, some were very anxious and jittery, some were just listening to music, some going over their bios. I was there just like waiting. I felt so, honestly, I mean, I've been doing interviews on talking about my story and my platform and everything in my bio, which is so genuine to who I am forever. So I knew the interview was going to be a breeze.
Yeah.
And I was in the interview room with Belgium. And so we got in.
Kenya, yeah.
Yeah, she's so lovely. And I walked into the interview room and I was so excited. I think I was like beaming, like my smile was so huge because I was so excited. So I remember walking in and I walked to the first panel of judges, and the first thing they said was, "Wow, what a smile!" And I was like, I'm excited. And so they just got right to it. And my first question, I can't remember who was on each panel, but I remember my first question was from Brooke Lee. And she had asked me, she was just like, okay, getting right to the point. And she was like, so tell me about your story about gender-based violence and what is gender-based violence. So I spoke a little bit about that and my platform, how, you know, I come from a loving, supportive family, and even I have fell into an abusive relationship. Yeah. And that really goes to show it could happen to anybody. There's no perfect mold of what a survivor or victim of gender-based violence looks like. Right. And I went in about that. And I had another question about my prime minister. I'm one of the only countries there with a female prime minister. And she had asked, what is it like being led by a female? And I just went into that, how she leads with surety, empathy, and confidence. Even though she knows she has a huge amount of power, she still knows she walks amongst us. Yeah. And, you know, she's so incredible. And it really goes to show how being led by a female leader, even during a pandemic, has completely changed our lives, because Barbados is, I think it's right now number 11 in the world of almost being fully vaccinated. Our whole population. And that's not just because we're a small island. Yeah. That's because we've also been able to have access to vaccines because of our prime minister, because of the rollout plan and all of that. Yeah. And then I have another question about which female leader in the world do you look up to right now? And I spoke about Kamala Harris, how she's broken down so many barriers and glass ceilings for women. I think it's important that we have inclusion, diversity, and representation. And she has done so much more for women than I think we've even acknowledged at this point. Because in 2021, it's baffling that women are still celebrating so many firsts within society, whether that's in a boardroom, a classroom, a medical room, positions of power or leadership. Right. And I think she is going to truly pave the way for so many women. And I'm really excited to see what's in store for the United States after a wild 4 years. And I think I said what I said, but I'm really excited to see what the country can start looking like with a female vice president in leadership. Yeah. Obviously, none of those answers were that long, but because we have only 4 minutes, like you said, you want to make sure that you're spending enough time answering the most important part of the question with the most impactful answer. Right. And so I spent about 30 to 40 seconds on those 3 questions. Quality Start was on that side, and they were recording that side of the interview. And I was very happy with my interview. And I went, then the little bell ringed off, and I was like, okay, well, thank you. And then I switched to the other panel in the room. And then I remember walking over, I was still very excited. And the first question was from Zuleika. And I could tell that she was going to be like the serious judge. She was like the straight face. Like everyone that was on the panel was super engaged, very responsive. You could tell that they were interested in what I had to say. And they were like, oh, you know. Yeah. And so I thought that was great feedback. Anyways, went to the other side. Zuleika was the straight face, serious. Yeah. And it was like, so tell, like, again, they got right into it. And so she told me, she asked, so why did you get abused? And that's when I just went into, you know, I think society does not hold enough accountability for aggressors and perpetrators. And, you know, we would rather victim blame than give women this justice. And I spoke about how while I sought out safety, I never got justice in the end. But that doesn't stop me from advocating for other women to continue seeking safety. And I think it really has a lot to do with our justice system that needs to be reformed to start protecting women as equals.
Right.
And, you know, we've just excused so much behavior of men within society for years now. And to truly break the cycle, they need to understand that there will be repercussions.
Yeah.
And so I spoke about that in a little bit in my story. I was asked by one of the judges, what was it? Oh, I'm coming to Barbados. Tell me what my itinerary is like. And so that was an easy question. And so I talked about Barbados and what we are going to be doing, eating, the places we're going to be going. But what's going to make you want to come back is the warmth of our people. You're going to make some genuine connections that you feel almost obligated to come back and continue that.
Yeah.
And then the last question that I got, so I did 3 questions on each side. The last question that I got was, if someone came to me as a victim of gender-based violence, how would I console them? And for me, I said, while each experience is going to be different, I can resonate with some of the feelings that you're going through.
Right.
I spoke about how important it is to not just wait for that perfect moment to choose you, because essentially that's never going to come.
Right.
There's never going to be that one morning you wake up and you're like, you know, today's a good day. Today is the perfect day. That's never going to happen. You have the confidence to take a chance on yourself, and knowing that when you bet on you, you will never lose, and only you can find your destiny and your path in life. And I spoke about the platform that I'm launching, which is Women's Survival Diary, where women can share their stories anonymously, and there's a support group in there that will help you seek safety and justice and all of that. And just continuing sharing my story. So that was that. And that was the end of my interview. And the bell rang again. Thank you guys. And I walked out of that interview room beaming with excitement, pride, joy. I know that I could not have done a better job in the interview. I answered everything, not just to the best of my ability under pressure, because, you know, you have a whole lot of time to think then. You only have 4 minutes.
Right.
And even walking out, I never had anything in my head that I said, oh, I could have said this, or I should have said that. Like, not, because I know everything was literally the best answer that related to me and my story, and that would relate to other women, that I could have given. So I remember after the interview, I went back up to my room. I called my national director. I told him everything. And he was so proud. I was so excited. I think I was on a high after that. And you couldn't touch me that day. I was happy. I was unstoppable. I felt amazing. And, you know, I think there was one golden rule that my national director told me is, do not cry in that interview room, no matter what they ask. That's like the goal. You know, you don't go, it's a job interview. Miss Universe is a job. You don't ever go to any other job and cry in your interview, regardless of what they ask. And I know a lot of women went in there with stories similar to mine, or even other platforms. And, you know, we've all experienced hurdles, criticism, hardship through them, but you have to be resilient enough, confident and courageous enough to be able to talk about it to anyone all the time, because that's what you're going to be doing as Miss Universe, you know? So that was my thing. I was so excited to talk about my platform that when they kept asking me questions, I was like, I was so happy, because I loved sharing my story, and I was just so proud, honestly. Proud.
Yeah, I could feel it from here. And you know what, while you were talking, I was thinking like maybe Miss Universe next time would like remove the countries and would just look at your names instead, because like, you get what I mean?
I think that's a great idea. At the end of the day, I'm also a businesswoman.
Oh yeah.
So, I know there's a lot of politics. I know there's a lot of money involved. I know sponsors are heavily involved. And it's a business. That's all I can add. It's a business.
But
and while we equality and fairness, we judge, it's a business.
Yeah, I agree. But it would have been like a breath of fresh air for like, you know, we will get there later, but you know what I mean. But I'm so proud of you, Hillary, because like you and like Iris Salguero, Miss Belize, she also did a story after her interview that she was also very happy that she was able to share her story. And with you, I know that you were going to ace it. That's the reason why I was not worried about you. But just for everyone's benefit, that's how she answered it. And yeah, you'd be the judge, guys. So So next, okay, on the road to the finals night, what were your observations or anything interesting, any interesting event that happened during the rehearsals or behind closed doors that you'd like to share? So earlier, we you mentioned about just surrendering everything that that is above you. What was that about?
Pardon me? Sorry, you kind of cut out there.
Oh yeah, sorry. You mentioned earlier before we recorded that during the prelims or the night of the prelims that you just said, okay, that is above me, and I just would like to have fun. So, what was the atmosphere on the road to finals night?
Honestly, everyone was still very excited. Everyone was super supportive, very sweet, very kind, very helpful. I mean, even Belize, she was in my room with me, and she was getting a little frustrated with her national costume, but all of us came together to make sure it was pieced together, that she was good to go. Like, we all have to get ready too, but we're not going to let you get in that headspace before one of the most important moments of your life. So she was really sweet. My whole room was Australia, Bahamas, Bolivia, Belize, me, and Belgium. Great atmosphere. Like, I couldn't have loved my room more. Also, because, honestly, and just because alphabetically, I also spent a lot of time with Belgium, Bahamas, and Australia. So I was already really close with them. And so it was just such a great room to be in. And I was very happy to be surrounded by that energy. And when it came to the competition, we went out, we performed, that was that. Yeah. And it goes by so quickly. You train so long and hard for those few moments that you interact with the judges. It goes by like that. And that's why it's so important to work so hard prior to getting to Miss Universe. Right. That when you're actually there, you're not putting pressure on yourself. You're not deterring your plan mentally with everything else that's going on, because it is a chaotic background. I'm telling you.
I know.
Some girls are praying. Some girls are hyperventilating. Some are like dancing and excited. There's so much going on, but you have to stay like blinders on, zone in on what you have to do, and just bring yourself together, because so much is happening backstage. And a lot of the girls were really sweet. A lot of them were super kind. I know some of the girls were having some problems with national costumes, some evening gowns, shoes. There were some crazy stories that were going around, but other than that, at the end of the day, I mean, it's all above you at this point. And be the best version of you regardless of what's happening. So I think this was a very, very strange year for a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's good that you pointed that out, because there will be audiences that will be future beauty queens, and Hillary pointed out that it's the reason why you should work hard prior to going to Miss Universe, because you're just gonna get 30 seconds, right, Hillary? The rehearsals will be long, but you're just gonna be judged 30 seconds. Hey, cute doggy, and then you're gonna get like, hi. You're gonna get like 4 minutes in your interview, right? So, yeah.
It goes by so quickly, and honestly, I think I was a little sentimental after it had happened. We had trained, like I said, you trained so long and hard, and after the preliminary competition was done, I went back up to our dressing room because we had to change again to go back down to then pre-film all the dance segments for the finals. And I went back up to the room, and I was like a little watery-eyed because I was like, oh my God, it is done. Like, there's literally nothing more you can do at this point. You gave it your all. More than my all. I was like so proud, so happy, and then just letting it all sink in, obviously with all the adrenaline. I was there like dabbing my eyes. The chaperone was like, now is not the time, get ready, we have to go back out. I was like, okay, pull it together. And I got ready and I went down and I filmed all the dancing, and even when that was done, I think I got back to my room maybe about 12 o'clock, and we still had to get ready for the next day. And I called.
She's one of the best Miss Universe Barbados that went through the Miss Universe stage in the longest time, and one of the best national costume that looked like a legitimate. Hillary, you look like a Victoria's Secret in your national costume.
I hope they're listening to that.
But tell me, like, how did you feel when you found out that you were Miss Universe Barbados? And that was a very unique experience for you, right?
Yeah. So when I was appointed in, when I took over the reign in 2019, I remember I was at work at the time, and I saw the call from my national directors, and I was like, why are they calling me? Like, done. Maybe they want some help marketing because they know it's my background. They want to start talking about the upcoming delegates, whatever. And so I called them back and I'm like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, so you're now the reigning Miss Universe Barbados. I think my face staring at the computer screen at the time was like, what? Like, what? How did this happen? And they told me what happened. And they're like, we'll give you some time to think about it. I was like, time? I was like, I'm bored. I was like, I don't even need time to think about this, you know? Even though it was only supposed to be for 7 months, you know, when opportunity knocks, I always answer. There's always something to make of it. Because again, like I said, it's about perception. And even though I wouldn't have the opportunity at that point to go to Miss Universe, I was still determined to use that platform for myself, for my story. And that's exactly what I did. And then shortly after I took over the reign, COVID. So and into full lockdown in Barbados. I couldn't go out in the community. I couldn't do anything. Everything became digital. And as a marketer, I was like, okay, like I do this every day for a living. I can do it for you guys. And that's exactly what I did. I launched so many platforms like Conversations with the Queen, Life in Lockdown, Women's Leadership and Success. I talked to senators. I talked to governor generals. I spoke to CEOs, all incredible women from around the world. I spoke with the Caribbean Senator for UN Women. Like I had an amazing conversation. And that would have never happened if I had never said yes to opportunity the first time around. And as the pandemic's progressing, obviously it's not safe to have a traditional pageant as they would have. And they're dropping my hints like, you guys could just appoint me. I see other countries appointing people, you know. I'm working hard. And it wasn't like a point. It was literally just for myself and for other women. And then when I found out all about that, I was like, send me, you know. And as time was going on, I was like, okay, they've not told me anything. They're not a pageant. Y'all gotta put me in a little something. And then so it was actually the 1-year anniversary. So September 7th, 2020 would have been the competition back in 2019. And they called me and they told me, we're gonna send you to Miss Universe. You're gonna be Miss Universe 2020. And I was like, I was so excited. And I kind of like had my suspicions. I was just so excited and just ready to continue working hard. And that's exactly what we did.
And they could have not crowned a better Miss Universe Barbados at this very moment in time. Because like, you know, this year at Miss Universe is it's a year of breakthroughs for smaller countries. Because like here you are, Hillary Ann Williams for Barbados. And we have a plethora of new, fresh-faced women who have, you know, broken the stereotypes that smaller countries could not send beautiful delegates, but they did. And you are a breakthrough, Hillary. And we're so excited for you. We're very happy that you represented your country and you were just a breath of fresh air.